Welcome back to Restoring This M6. In the first episode, you guys saw us do a bunch of stuff with the engine, including rod bearings, Vanos pump, injectors, throttle body actuators, thermostat, all sorts of stuff with the engine. And then in episode 2, we replaced the clutch, resurfaced the flywheel, did the SMG adaptions. So now we're gonna make it so we can actually drive the car, do some exhaust, do a few other little things like the heads-up display, the passenger restraint light. First thing we're gonna do is bleed the Vanos. So, just like in episode 2, I have to have ISTA out here. Make sure we have the minimum level of oil with the engine off, because we did the oil cooler and had the pan off and the Vanos pump out and all the rod bearings and everything. So it's taking a little bit more oil than if you did like a standard service on it, but we do have adequate oil in here to start. So what we'll do is go up to vehicle management, kind of like before, do service functions. So this time we'll go into service functions, and then instead of SMG, we'll go into engine electronics, and then right down here there's Vanos ventilation. So we'll click that, then click display. Continue. Just saying the test takes 18 minutes. Before performing the test number 2 here, we're gonna have to bleed the Vanos system number 1, then push continue. And then it says run engine at idle speed. So there we got it running. And we gotta let it warm up. We're only at 56 degrees, we need to be up at 70 degrees. So we'll let it run for a little while, get the temperature up, and then the Vanos bleed procedure will begin. All right, so it's finally warmed up. The Vanos test is running. It takes 18 minutes. If the test for some reason does cancel after like 5 or 10 and it says complete, or you're watching the time right there go down and it's not matching up, you will have to run the test more than once. A lot of times we'll run it 3 or 4 times just to make sure that it is properly bled. And while it's bleeding, it's going to be raising the engine RPM up and down. It'll make some pretty wild noises, but just let it do its thing. So while the Vanos test is running for the first one here, we're going to get the wheels back on it and everything so we can take it out for a test drive. All right, so the bleed procedure is complete. I'm going to run it one more time just to make sure while we're still putting everything back together. And there it goes. Alright, Vanos bleed procedure part 2 is complete. So from here, let's see, we can do Vanos system test, be able to check the solenoids and the Vanos operation. So then just click yes to perform the test and continue. And then we'll see here how the solenoids are doing. And now we got the wheels, and Brian's finishing up the under the hood stuff, and we'll go for our first drive with it. Alright, it's the first time the M6 has been out of the shop in a few weeks here. So since doing the Vanos pump, rod bearings, clutch, thermostat, throttle actuators, injectors, all the stuff from the previous episodes. So we're gonna go take it for its first drive, see how it does, and then come back because we still have a few more things to do to it. So let's see how this drive goes. So here we are driving the M6. It's driving pretty good. No weird engine noises. It shifts really smooth. We do have a couple codes, but they're for issues that we're going to be working on here in the future. But for right now, just enjoying getting the M6 back on the road. Alright, we're back at the shop now. Before we proceed with our repairs, we're going to clean it up a little bit. We polished the back a little. So we're gonna polish the front now and give her a good wash. We polished the car up a little bit, then washed it, and it's looking much better than before. Actually has the black sapphire metallic shine to it. We gotta do something about this stock exhaust, so we're gonna run it over to the guys over at Pro Muffler and give this V10 a little voice. All right, dropped off at the exhaust shop. All right, picking the M6 up from the exhaust shop. Let's get the first listen here. Okay, still pretty mild. It's definitely throatier though. You can hear it a little bit more. It's not a straight piped, but not bad. So the M6 is sounding a lot better. It got secondary cat delete along with resonator delete, but still has the factory back boxes. Let's get some more audio of how it sounds. So here's cold start on it. It's pretty mild. But compared to this car, for instance, it has 3-inch pipe all the way back from the manifold with an X pipe, no cats, no muffler, which is kind of wild to drive as a daily. This car has got a lot more manageable exhaust note. Even the Outlaw 5 is pretty loud because it does not have a resonator or secondary cats or muffler, but we'll let this warm up and get some revs in. Much more of a V10 sound now. I think he's going to be happy with this. So we have done pretty much all the mechanical work, but there is a couple things to fix, including that air duct down there that the client's been saying doesn't want to stay in place. And then we still need to put the covers back on it. We left them off to go to the exhaust shop so we can check for leaks. And then we're also going to be looking at cigarette lighter not working, heads-up display not working, and a couple other little things. This M6 will be back for BAB sound speaker upgrade, along with some other interior pieces, so might just stick with mechanical stuff on this round and then go to interior, and then hopefully performance. Maybe some Infinity headers and HDE tune, things of that nature, but we're gonna get the car flipped around so we can finish up all these little bits. Here we are in the trunk. We need to look for fuse 87, which is the front cigarette lighter, and then fuse 88 is the rear. His complaint's the front, so take 87 out, and it is blown. 88. That one's still solid. I mean, it is possible for it to not be blown, but still not have good connections. So the best thing would be to ohm it out with an ohm meter. But since there's no issue with the rear, the problem's the front, and this one's blown, we'll replace this fuse and test it. All right, replacement fuse going in. And now we'll hop in the front and test it out. All right, here we are in the car. Make sure there's no coins or other metal objects down in the lighter. Okay, so here we are back at the back of the vehicle. Replaced that fuse, and as you guys saw, we plugged in an accessory to the power outlet inside the cabin there, and still it did not get power. So we're back here looking. 85 is ran off of the terminal 15 relay. It has power. Let's go 86 power, 87 power, and same with 88. So it looks like we might have a bad power socket. All right, here we are back in the car. Let's do a little testing here. See if I can get this with the camera on the power socket. But if you hold the leads right, we can see on the meter, we do have battery voltage at the power socket. So instead of trying it with this, we're gonna try it with this. So and we have power. Nice. One little task done and dusted. All right, while I was working on getting the cigarette lighter working, Brian worked on this air vent. And our issue here was this bracket was all bent. And there is a cover that goes underneath and bolts to here and on that side. So Brian took this bracket off and got it bent back straight. And now the air duct is in there proper. So here we are under the M6 one last time. All the covers and everything we cleaned are still clean. New control arm's looking good. Not seeing any leaks anywhere on it. It's safe to put the covers back on. Here's some of the exhaust that was done. Another V10 saved. All right guys, all the covers are on the M6. Give it a final wipe down. Now it's ready for transport to come and pick it up. Well, it's that time. Time to send the M6 back to Texas. Got the transport truck here up the street. So back to the owner it goes. I'm sure you guys will see it again soon on the channel. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed everything we've done on it. And hopefully some of the videos have helped you guys out. But as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, one more cold start.